you ready to do this?
Well, every former athlete wishes they could go back.
Love the game. It gave me so much.
You know, because we all got hoop dreams.
This is A New Path, a sports podcast, hosted by Peyton Schmitz.
What is going on, everybody? We're back. New Path podcast is back, and we're so happy to be back with you guys. And today, I've got a good friend coming on the show. Our second in person. Last time it was my dad. Now we're going with a friend. Everybody, if you don't know him, he's the sports director of WXUT, 88.3. Got to get the plug in there. Anthony Kruszka. Anthony, how you doing today?
Doing great, Peyton. Just glad to be here. We were just talking about it. I've listened to every episode, so you could say I'm one of your biggest fans.
You got dedicated listener, man.
Yeah, just
dedicated listener.
Excited to kind of, share my story. So
Yeah. Well, let's get into it. So, how old were you when you first started playing sports?
So I'd say I first started, that I can remember, is running cross country or playing basketball. But it wasn't when you're a little kid and you play basketball, you really can't get the ball up to the hoop and stuff like that. So
Right.
I'd say I was probably about 4 or 5 for basketball, and mini hoops and stuff like that. But in the living room or something. But actually playing something, I played or ran cross country through community education or whatever, and we would run half a mile around our local park, which ended up being kind of cool because then that's where I would have a lot of my practices later on in junior high and high school. So
Right. So cross country early on, and then basketball once you got a little taller.
Yeah.
What was that basketball experience like?
So basketball for me, I think why I really got into it was because I have 2 sisters. I'm the only son, so
Yeah.
they had their own interests, and I'm also the youngest, so it was easiest to just kind of take a ball and go to a hoop and you play. You can play one on none.
Yeah. One on none.
Yeah, so it was just easiest to go do that, and but yeah, I had a good chance to play on a bunch of different teams, and played for the school and played travel ball and stuff like that. So I think basketball was my number one, and which eventually cross country ended up being an equal or overtook it, but I think for sure from the start basketball was always my favorite. So
Yeah. I was not very good at basketball, if I'm being honest. But cross country, I played a sport where I ran 90 feet and stopped.
Right.
So that cross country experience, what was that like?
So
Did you like running?
So not in the beginning, no, to be honest. It was I couldn't tell you when I was little, it was you would just go run, and it was just something to do. My sisters did it, and other kids would do it, and you just go to the park and run or whatever. It wasn't that serious. And then I think junior high, it was 7th grade. Yeah, 7th grade, I got back into it because I'd been playing basketball for a few years then, and figured I would use it to stay in shape, is what I would always say. So I didn't care so much about the times and my performance, and my sister ran cross country too, so I kind of knew all the coaches and stuff like that, and some of the older kids and stuff like that. So it was just cool to, sometimes it's kind of just a social sport.
Yeah.
That and track, because I ran track too. It was just cool to.
I'm assuming distance events.
Yeah. If you ran cross country, you had to hold it down.
You don't really see a lot of sprinting people.
Yeah.
That do cross country. They're like, no.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to do that.
No.
You mentioned you have siblings.
Yeah.
Were they only in cross country, or did they do other things too, or?
No, so yeah, we all did it when we were younger, and then so my oldest sister Mackenzie, she ended up doing it pretty much all the way through junior high, high school. That's all she did. So we always kind of joke with her how she can never play a sport with a ball and stuff like that. But she had a good time with it. She did cross country and track. And then my sister Molly, she's in the middle. she was really good when she was younger, and then probably the best out of us. And then in middle school, she tried to do it again, kind of like how I was doing it, and it wasn't for her.
Wasn't going well.
You know, so she ended up picking up volleyball.
Okay.
And she played volleyball, I think, pretty much all the way through high school. So junior high and high school. So.
Yeah. And did your parents play any sports?
Yeah. So that's where it's funny. Like my dad pretty much tried everything, but he was really into cross country and track.
Yeah.
And he actually played water polo too.
Water polo.
Yeah.
Man, you don't hear about that one a lot.
Because he was a swimmer too.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it was, which is funny, but I think that kind of went into his college career a little bit too. I mean, he didn't play like, it was like a club thing. They play water polo.
Like, club.
Yeah, he's got a lot
There's
of good.
nothing wrong with club sports.
Exactly, yeah.
Nothing wrong with club sports.
Exactly. He's got a lot of good stories from that. But, and then my mom, she was volleyball, she tried basketball, and she really loved softball.
Right.
So we kind of let her down, I will say, because we never really, none of us really got into softball or baseball like that. So.
Yeah, so cross country and basketball early on, and then in high school, still doing the same thing.
Yeah,
pretty
it was
much.
just the same thing. Yeah.
Did you ever think about college? Is that something you ever considered, or not really?
Not really, no. I think I did for basketball. Like obviously that was a goal, or it was, I guess, a dream maybe. But I think really what kind of changed things was like my the COVID seasons.
Yeah. And you were you freshman in high school when COVID hit?
Yeah, so it was the end of our freshman year, or my freshman year.
Yeah.
So then it ended up kind of affecting my sophomore season, which was kind of important. That's kind of when you figure out, like, am I going to take another big step here, or, am I going to stick around at JV? But yeah, it was, I think that kind of messed me up a little bit, and a lot of us, just because it was harder to, we weren't playing in gyms and it wasn't the same. So it was hard to, stay in shape for that and keep your skills up. So I think that's kind of when I shifted towards cross country, because we were outside and we were still kind of able to do it. We just kind of had different pods is how we did it. We would practice just in little groups, so if somebody did get it, then it didn't affect the whole team.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's where I was like, well, this is even another step where you don't need any equipment, where I said playing one on none or whatever. Like, you don't need, all you needed was shoes. So
pretty much.
It's just another thing that, I think it'll carry on throughout my life, like being able to run and stuff like that. So
do you still?
Yeah.
Consistently?
I've been getting back into it, pretty consistently. Okay. And I want to try to maybe train for a half marathon or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. You would not catch me doing that. You would. Man, it was great, baseball. You run 90 feet, you stop, and occasionally you run 180, at most. And then, hey, you get to trot 360. So it's, it's really, it's hard to compare the two. But so college, when did you realize, that your senior year in high school was going to be it? Like, was there a moment that hit you and you were like, oh, I'm done?
Yeah, it was, especially since I ended up, like I said, I ended up transitioning more to, focusing on cross country and track more. And so like my junior and senior year, I didn't even play basketball for the school or anything.
Okay.
I just decided, hey, I'm just gonna focus on that. And I wasn't having as much fun with it, playing for the school and stuff like that. So I still ended up playing like, pickup ball and community ed sports and stuff like that. But, so which ended up being more fun, because a lot of us were just kind of like, we're probably not going to go. It's pretty hard to play college basketball. So, but yeah, I think we just, I don't know. I think when I realized like the end of cross country hit, and actually it was tough for me because it was my second to last race. And there's always kind of a moment with the seniors for cross country where they're like, you call it like the senior push, where you're like, okay, I'm gonna lay it all out there. You know, these are my last few races.
Right.
And guys kind of joke about it, but it is a real thing. You know, my second to last race, I set a PR, and which is, you know, it's tough when you're a senior.
Yeah.
You know, but and then, you know, after that I was just fired up, and I'm like, you know, I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah.
You know, my last race, but then I ended up getting sick. You know, and it was like I wasn't able to run my last race. So the actual last race, but the last one I ran in,
You
set a
PR'd.
PR, and
I mean, that's,
you know, you can't ask for more there.
No, not really.
But yeah, I think when I got sick, it was just like, I don't know, it kind of ruined it for me. And then I was like, dang, I didn't even get a chance to see if I could, because I really felt like I could set it. I just felt like somehow I was at the top of my game.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think after that, like, so you hit like October. After that, it was just like, man, like, it did hit me pretty hard, and it was just like, it made school boring too, in a way,
Yeah.
which was kind of weird.
Yeah, because cross country's, that's in the fall, right?
Yeah, and I don't know, I would always look forward to, you know, getting out of class, and you just go out there and go on a run and stuff like that.
Right.
So yeah, it kind of hit me pretty hard, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It took me a while, yeah, to try to adjust and realize, like, hey, what am I gonna do now?
Did it surprise you how much it really hit you?
It did, yeah. Especially since, I don't know, I was always like, you know, I always thought it was almost kind of cliche, like, you know, people saying, you know, you need to like cherish these moments and stuff like that. And I'm like,
Right.
And then you get there and you're like, dang, yeah, this really is it. And it's like, you got to figure out, you know, am I going to college? You know, what's the next steps? What am I gonna like focus on? What's the major? Stuff like that. So yeah, it was kind of a lot. I won't lie, because plus I had a really good relationship with everybody on my team, and you know, I love my coach. And yeah, it was different, but you know, thankfully, you know, all those guys were still there, but I mean, you know, to talk to and stuff. So it helped.
Yeah, and for reference, how big was your high school? Was it pretty large, or was it on the smaller side?
I'd say we're pretty big. I mean, we're about 1,500 kids, I think.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was your graduation in your gym, or was it?
We actually had it here at Savage Arena.
Okay.
So,
yeah. All right. Nice.
So
nice.
there you go.
Yeah.
I could graduate in Savage Arena twice.
Twice. Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Just a year and a half.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. So that kind of just leads into, you know, your decision after your playing days, you know, like what made you decide to, I mean, I know why, but what made you decide to do what you're doing now?
Exactly, yeah. I think, I mean, obviously, because there's a good connection here with sports. So our major, I'm sure your listeners know, it's media communication.
It's come up a few times.
Yeah. So, and we're both pretty interested in sports broadcasting and stuff like that. So, yeah. But it took me a while to get to that point. I was all over, like, didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I think that was a lot of, you know, what gave me some anxiety my senior year. I was just like, I don't know what I want to do, and you know, I just, you know, I don't know. It was crazy, but yeah, I think I had a radio class, like TV and radio in high school. At Bedford. Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out Bedford High School.
Shout out Bedford High School.
So, and I did that sophomore year, but it wasn't, again, that's COVID year, and it didn't really hit the same. We were trying to do podcasts from home, like we would get Chromebook laptops they would give us, so we'd try to record on those and send them in, and I mean, it was cool.
We're gonna dig this old tape up and take a look at it.
I'll have to try to find those. I know I have them, and those were kind of funny, but it was cool because it was, you know, it gave, you know, we were all looking to, you know, kind of have that time to talk with people and stuff like that. So even if it was just talking with yourself, because that's what it ended up being. It was me in my room with my little laptop, just like writing notes out for a podcast, and basically just talking about sports updates and stuff like that, what was going on. and
Or lack thereof. 'Cause,
right,
you know,
exactly.
COVID
There
was
wasn't much, so it was a lot of ums and ahs.
It
And
was like, well, yeah.
I was just trying to meet, like, I don't know if it was like a 10-minute requirement or something like
Right.
that, but
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I did that sophomore year and it wasn't too serious, and then I ended up taking it again my senior year, and I took it a lot more serious. We ended up being in class, and you know, we got a chance to, you know, we do the school announcements and stuff like that too, so we had a chance to get in front of the camera.
Okay.
So yeah, and even then, I wasn't super set on it. I was like, I don't know if I would do something like this or how I could, you know, make a career out of something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think I originally applied here for just College of Business, like undecided.
Okay.
Like I didn't even have a plan really. And again, it was like, you got to come up with something, because it was giving me like, I can't just go in here like not having a plan. And so I ended up shifting. I think it was in the spring, my senior year. I was like, okay, I'm going to try to give this a shot. And I actually ended up coming in. We had a chance as seniors to have like an experience day.
Okay, yeah.
Where, you know, our principal was like, take the day and, you know, see what kind of connections you can come up with and go check a college out or whatever. So I ended up getting to tour the studio here and the station, and I was like, okay, this is pretty sweet. So
yeah. Little full circle moment right
exactly.
now. Yeah. Walked around as one of the people just visiting, and here you are.
Yeah.
Here you are, yeah. Is it hard to believe that you're already a junior?
It is, yeah. It definitely is, because I feel like, I was just running cross country and then it ended, and I was like, what's going on?
Yeah. No, that's a real feeling though, because all of a sudden it seems like, and maybe this is just me, you can maybe attest to this, but there were so many times where I felt like in the season it just dragged out so long, and you're in the middle of it and you're just trying to get through it. And then now, after you've kind of finished, all of a sudden 4 years go by and you're like, what happened? Like, did you have a similar experience? Or?
I did, yeah. You mean just like in high school, or
just in general?
I think it applies to school now too, a little bit. You know, you get into those tough couple of weeks in the semester when it's just like, you know, this is dragging.
You just got to grind.
Yeah, and then I don't know, and then it's just like you're a race to the finish at the end of the semester. It feels like sometimes. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it does. There's those. It slows down, and it's like, you know, you almost are wishing it's over. Sometimes, like
there were
practices,
definitely a few times. It was like, okay, can we just wrap this up?
Right.
Here? I'm ready to.
Some practices, it's like, what are we doing?
Right.
You know, especially with basketball, I was like, okay, like you're just wasting my time a little bit. Sometimes, I don't know, but yeah, like sometimes practices seem too long, but then it's like you look back on it and you're like, man, you should have been a little bit more present.
Yeah.
But,
do you wish things had been different? Like, do you wish you had applied yourself more, or tried a different sport, or is there anything that you would go back and change about your athletic experience?
Yeah, I mean, I think what I did with basketball and cross country, I think, you know, it is what it is, and I'd say I wouldn't change it. You know, it made me who I am today and stuff like that. But I think, maybe I would have tried to try a couple different sports. Maybe not just get so boxed in, but again, that was just me being kind of shy maybe, or, you know, just kind of picking one thing and sticking there, getting comfortable. But yeah, like, you know, like I said, I mean, she doesn't care, but she'll think it's funny, like let my mom down with, she loves baseball and softball. Like it would have been cool to try baseball. You know, I actually tried t-ball it's a funny story. Like I tried for a day, like
a single day.
it was a single day. I showed up, my mom took me and she was all excited, you know, like got me a glove and a bat, and
a single day.
I guess it wasn't for me. I don't know. I showed up and I don't know. We'll say I got a little emotional, like didn't love it.
And Did you get hit by the ball or
no, I really don't know what, like 5 or 6 year old.
To be fair, you were 5.
4,
so,
yeah,
you know.
6, what I was thinking, but I don't know. I guess I just was like, threw kind of a fit and was like, I'm not doing it. And my mom's like, what do you mean?
What do you mean, dude?
I like barely even gave it a shot. So I wish, maybe I got a little bit more into baseball, especially since, you know, we, you know, had started calling baseball on the radio and stuff like that.
You know, I mean, yeah.
But Yeah.
Give yourself some credit. You figured
Yeah.
it out.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Figured it
But
out.
I don't know. I've been getting more into baseball just watching it, and I'm like, dang, it would have been cool to, actually try it. So,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Yeah. It's interesting. I've had your number 6 in terms of guests on the show, and they all kind of tell a similar story about, like, hey, I was involved in athletics and I enjoyed it and I loved it, and it's like, would you change anything? They're like, no.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think athletes all across are just like, I'm okay with what happened?
I think it's a lot of it is just like being where you're at today. You look back on it and then you kind of come to peace with it. If you had college aspirations or dreams or even pro, because we all got hoop dreams,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the reason like we're all okay with it is just because we think about where we're at now, and think about maybe some of the our favorite moments or little lessons, like that and people you met, and where it put you at in today's world, and you're like, yeah, I think it was okay, So I think, yeah, we're all able to kind of move on in a way, even if it takes a little while. And I think a lot of it too is there's always opportunities to keep playing your sport, or find different ways to be a part of it, whether it's coaching or I think you had a trainer on or something like that, or
she's a strength coach.
Yeah,
She's
strength
a strength coach.
So
Columbus Academy.
Yeah, like there's all kinds of different things you can do in sports. So I think that's a big part of it too.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting because baseball, I coached Little League this summer.
Yeah.
I think I told you that. And it was such a different experience because we were so used to, you're being the one doing it. And so then you try and coach and instruct and you learn what to do and what not to do.
Right.
And have you thought about coaching?
Yeah, I have a little bit. I always joke a little bit about, maybe when it's all said and done, like I retire or something, like going back to Bedford or going to a high school program and, seeing what I can do as a coach for basketball. I think that'd be cool. But I mean, honestly, I guess I could start now too. But
You
I don't
could.
know. I always just think that would be a funny story, like to go back and then, having a winning record or something like that. And
I
be
mean,
like,
hey, that's a triumphant return right there.
Yeah, like I could do it. Just show them.
It's okay, all right, coach, get away. I can do this.
Because that's how a lot of
I got
players
this.
felt when, I don't know if you probably maybe had a similar feeling sometimes, like where you're like, man, what is coach doing? Or
There were a few.
Yeah.
Definitely a few.
But yeah, I think that kind of is like where I would be like wanting to do basketball but I think cross country, there's still opportunity now too, even at Bedford or, I mean, I don't know, there's some good schools around here too, in Toledo that, they got good programs and they always need help. So
Always need help.
yeah.
It's the nature of high school sports, man.
Yeah.
They're always looking for that guy to come in and change it up a little bit and give the kids some energy. Do you have a favorite moment off the top of your head from when you were playing? Is there something that you distinctly remember, like a giant slam dunk, or was it your PR or anything?
Yeah,
like
that was a good one. I'd say that was for cross country. That was probably one of my favorites. I think any PR later into my career was super special, and it kind of meant a lot, especially because you're putting in so many miles throughout the weeks, and sometimes it was just like you'd get out there and you think you're putting all you can into it, and it ends up just being pretty much close to the same time, and you're like, I thought I was
Right.
improving, but cross country is one of those sports where it was like you would plateau and it'd just be small improvements maybe over time, or later in your career, like I said, you just kind of plateau and then maybe decline a little bit depending on some people would struggle with injuries and stuff like that. But yeah, I'd say PRs were huge. I remember that last one being it was like overwhelming with emotion after. It was a great feeling. And yeah, so for sure for cross country, that's one of them. And then I think for basketball, there's a lot of good like little random
Little moments
stories
here
and
and
little
there.
moments with the team and stuff like that. But I was thinking about it. One that stood out when I was playing like travel ball. I think it was in 7th grade. I ended up playing for a different team so 6th grade. I played with like a team, so I played like CYO basketball.
Okay, yeah.
So like for my church, and that coach ended up making a travel team. He called it the Monroe County Future and stuff like that. And it was kind of funny because it was like, you know, almost being like a pro and being in free agency. I was like, because they wanted me for that team, and then I ended up going a different path and played for Glass City basketball, which was a Toledo thing, and Dennis Hobson actually ran it. Toledo guy, you know, and I'm pretty sure he's still the leading scorer at Ohio State, you know, and he played pro and everything. So
how about that?
Yeah, so that's kind of what attracted me to it, and I did some of his camps, and I was like, okay, this will be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, we ended up playing a tournament at Bedford in their gym, and we ended up getting to play against the Monroe Future or whatever. So it was cool to play against some of those guys that I played with before and against my previous coach. And then, you know, we ended up beating them, and it was a cool story. And it's one of the ones like my mom loves it. She would always come to all my games, and she loves that one just because she heard my coach like before the game or something. He's like, oh, we'll be in the championship game. We'll be playing at 4:00 or something like that. And they still had to go through us, and we ended up making it to the championship game. So it was just kind of a fun moment. You know, I got all the, you know, my new teammates like into it. I was like, yeah, these guys, like I used to play with them. Was like, we got to take them down kind of thing. So, and that was just in 7th grade. But yeah, like I said, it was kind of fun to be like acting kind of like, you know, you're at a higher level than you are, you know, picking with different teams and stuff like that. But yeah.
No. Before we wrap up, I got one last question for you, man. If there's one kind of message you have to young athletes out there, maybe they're coming towards the end of their high school careers, or they're in Little League and just absolutely hate it, you know, what wise words does Anthony Kruszka have for athletes out there?
Yeah. I would say if you want to try something, try it, and then, you know, once you find your sport, you know, stick with it, and then just put everything you can into it. You know, I mean, it might seem like you said, like it might seem like a long season, but when you look back on it, it moves by pretty fast. So I'd say just try to, you know, do your best to be present, and, you know, maybe, you know, if your goal is college, maybe don't worry too much about, you know, saying, you know, this is what I got to do to make it to college. Just kind of see if it comes to you. You know, put in the work, and it'll probably come. Yeah. You know, I think it can happen. But I would say my biggest advice, though, and this is just for even like anybody just, you know, moving on past high school, and you know, it definitely applies to kids who played sports for sure, because, you know, that's all you know. You know, and then when it's over, you don't really know what to do. But I would just say that it's going to work out, and, you know, just let it work out. It's all going to work out, you know. And, you know, when sports are done, it's okay. Just take some time, you know, reflect, and, you know, try to look to the future a little bit, see how you can take, you know, things from your sport and turn it into, you know, a career, or, you know, even if it's just a hobby throughout your life or something like that. See how you can, you know, keep doing what you love. So I'd say that's what my advice is.
Wise words from Anthony Kruszka. This has been the News Path Podcast, a sports podcast, and thank you guys for coming back. We hope you tune into everything else we got going on, and listen to 88.3 WXUT, because we got a lot of cool content going on there too. For Anthony, my name is Peyton. So long until next time.